2005 Ford Excursion, and I've got the pressure line that goes down there to the pump. I've got it disconnected there. I think it's this one actually, the one on the other side. Yeah, got that one disconnected. Got the hoses disconnected. Of course, the reservoir is off. I'm washing it out. I've already replaced this, the hydraulic booster, and just getting this thing ready to pull the power steering pump out. And what you do is you got to get this belt loose. Okay, that's the tensioner. This is the tensioner right here, and this is an idler pulley. The tensioner pulley is down there. Now I've put a 1/2 inch ratchet wrench on there, and I just left it on there because I'm going to use it to reset that tensioner. But that's the tensioner pulley there. Now when you push that pulley down, you can set it. It has a clip on the back of it. And there's a clip right there on the back of that pulley, the tensioner assembly. And when you articulate that pulley into the released position, you can push that clip up with your finger or a long screwdriver or whatever, and that will hold it in the released position so that you can get the belt on there and get everything in the right spot. Okay, so down here I've drained the radiator. I've got that power steering pump in my sights. This is it right here. Has a flexible line here. You can't get to it with anything. A rubber line there. So I'm going to take there's two 10mm bolts. There's one there. There's one on the other side that you can't really see. You kind of have to do that by feel. But I'll show you on the other pump what that looks like. But I'm just going to move this hose out of the way and maneuver that pulley through this slot right here. Okay, it's a tight place, and so far it looks like it will fit out. I'll figure that out in a minute. Now here's the new pump here. There's a bolt here on top. This is the one you can't see. It's right next to this line here, low pressure return line. There's one bolt there, and of course you can see the other bolt there. Now these two positions have like a little alignment dowel in there. Okay, that helps out a whole lot. You can take this bolt all the way out, get it loose, and then do the lower one, and vice versa. You can put the lower one in all the way and get it up there close, and then you can put that top bolt in. It'll line up. So this is just to give you guys an idea what it looks like before it goes on. Alright, so there we are there. It's on the way out. I know it's kind of hard to see what's happening here, but I got that hose and I pushed that hose all the way out of the way and kind of slid this thing down. And the hoses are still connected to it. All the hoses are still connected. Okay, so I'm going to get it all the way out and get it into a place where I can work on them hoses, because there's really not hardly any access. And I didn't show the third bolt, but this bolt doesn't want to come out because this is in the way, and there is another bolt that goes in the top on the other side. So it does have 3 bolts in it. I didn't show that before, but so far so good. This thing looks like it's going to be coming out in this direction here. Just going to kind of pull it and get those hoses to straighten out. And this is the direction that we're going. It looks like it's working pretty good. Let me get into the next step. Alright, so I got that finger out. Just going to transfer these hoses to the new one and feed that thing back up in there, and it'll be just fine. Alright, so I got the hoses all back on there on the new pump, and I got it all ready. And I'm going to go over a few details here. I'm just going to show this pump sitting here. I'm not going to show putting it in and all that, but basically what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to feed those lines up through this hole here. There's a pathway about right here where those lines come up. It's not going to be easy by myself, but I'll get it done. If you want to put a rope or something down there, a string or something, and tie it to those things, you're welcome to do that. I'm just going to kind of fish them up there. I'm going to go over a few things in the factory service manual real quick. Okay, so this kind of gives little details about the power steering pump. Some part numbers and stuff like that. Now see, on that hose, the high pressure hose, it has a special swivel fitting on there with a number 6 Teflon seal. That swivel fitting to pump housing torque is 48 foot-pounds. Okay, number 6, part number 3, E as in Edward 552, power steering pressure line Teflon O-ring seal. Now, there is a special tool to install that seal that I do not have. I am reusing the original seal. The type of fluid that's required in here is the Mercron multi-purpose automatic transmission fluid. Now, to kind of go over a few things, let's see here. There's a bunch of torque specifications here. I don't know if anybody wants any of these things, but if any of this stuff is to use to you, I'm just going to let it sit here for a minute. There's a bunch of torque specifications for the steering parts here that some of the stuff I'm using and some of them I'm not using. So if that's something you can use, fine. There's the power steering line to power steering pump fitting. Power steering pump bolts are 18 foot-pounds. Line clamp plate bolt, turn lube line, la la la. So there's just a bunch of them. I didn't need those, but that's kind of how the book goes over some of that stuff. And even for in the book, it's showing a different model here, which is not important really. We're not taking the pulley off. We're not messing with a bunch of that stuff. It does have some information here about how to install that seal. And it says you're supposed to replace it whenever you do it. So if I have a problem and it leaks, well, I'll just have to replace it and figure out a way to set that Teflon seal to the right size. I'll just have to figure out a way to do it. And that's something that if you're working on this, you're going to have to figure that out yourself as well. So anyway, I hope this helps someone, and y'all have a good day.